Hello and welcome to episode 28 of the Bao Podcast. Today marks a special occasion as we host our first ever dual guest episode featuring Peter Bertels, CTO, and Wim Pieters, CEO of Circl. Circl is reshaping the housing landscape with fixed-priced, future-oriented single-family homes. Their unique approach integrates circularity and digitalization throughout the construction process. From digital design to remarkable 6-week construction period post-permit approval, Circl is at the forefront of efficiency and sustainability in the industry. Whether you're in the field of architecture or simply intrigued by the future of home construction, I'm sure this will be a great episode. So, let's waste no more time and start immediately. Welcome Peter, welcome Wim. How are you guys doing today?
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Really cool to be here indeed.
That's nice to hear. So as I mentioned, it's the first time we're doing it with 3 people instead of 2. So there was a little technical challenge with finding the right equipment, but I think we are now good to go. So I already did a little introduction, but maybe it's for the audience always good to hear from the people themselves how they look at the activities that they are doing. So maybe we start at the very beginning as we usually do, and maybe you can explain a little bit to the listener how Circl got started and what it is that you guys do today.
All right, maybe I will start. So I started working for a construction group, Van Hout, but already when I was studying, I didn't believe anything. I didn't believe in the traditional construction industry. I thought it was outdated. So I started working with Van Hout, and I was interested in modular and industrialized construction. And I really didn't want to go to the traditional construction sites. So they didn't know what they'd have to do with me. And then we started learning about modular construction together with Van Hout, learning about bio-based materials. And in our learning process, I met Peter, who was working at that time for Basics.
I was indeed at the Basics in the innovation team, and they came to me with this great guy, Wim Pieters from Van Hout, great ideas, but they needed someone to structure, to temper it a bit, but also to work with him. And I immediately saw this is a talented guy. He can make it happen. He has great ideas for sustainability, sustainable construction. But I also came up with the idea that maybe digitalization could help us to really scale it up, because you not only need to build all these houses, but you also want to have a quick process in the design of these houses. And that's a bit where Circl as a concept started. So now it's really design and build, both for new buildings on an empty plot, as well as for demolition reconstruction in the middle of the city center. We want to make like the perfect house everywhere.
And maybe that's one of the most important things. We also do the demolition and rebuildings. So we need to be really flexible. So we combine industrial way of construction with a flexible design. And that's what makes us different from other modular builders.
So do I understand it correctly? I'm going to try to, how do you say it, recapitulate what you guys explained. So what makes Circl unique is that you are vertically integrating from the software stack all the way up to the finished house, basically.
Yeah.
Right? There are more offsite solutions, I think, for your construction, but you also design the entire software behind the offsite methodology of Circl.
Yeah. So we are a company who develops software to design buildings, houses on a specific plot. And on the other hand, we are a construction company who also build those houses on a very fast and sustainable way. We only need 6 weeks on the construction site to build a house, even when it's demolition and rebuilt in even the city center. And we do it with a reduction of 55% of CO2 and fully circular.
Wow. Okay. 55% reduction.
Yeah.
And does the software enable this? Was the software a necessity to achieve these remarkable sustainability advantages?
The nice thing is indeed that we combine the standardization and efficiency of typical offsite and modular constructors with the flexibility in design. Because one of the things that we see, or what we saw with lots of our offsite or modular competitors, is that they are somehow fixed in outer parameter of houses, fixed volumes. And that's what we try to avoid, because we really want to be able to have like every plot, every existing crappy house, to demolish it and reconstruct it, even if it's a terraced house in the middle of the city center, or it's somewhere on a corner between 2 streets. That's the flexibility we add, and the software helps us to add the flexibility whilst keeping the standardization and the standard building blocks that we need for efficient production and efficiency in the rest of the process.
Right. So in a sense, and of course my mind goes to this, it's the same way as we do with SAM. We also have standardized modular elements, but via, in our case, a configurator as well. You can reconfigure them in hundreds of different layouts, which enables a lot of flexibility in the design. But from a production and manufacturing perspective, it's always the same.
True.
Right.
Yeah. For the customer, it's 80% flexible and 20% standardized. We only standardize the elements that for the end consumer are not that important. And for the construction, is the other way around. It's like 80% standard and very efficient and efficient and swift in production, but 20% flexibility in the things that are not that important to standardize.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also a difference is that we have standardized building blocks. But on the other hand, we have all the outer walls or floors, roofs. Those are 2D elements who are parametric. So if they are 6 meters 85 or 2 meters 31 with a 30-degree angle, it doesn't matter for us. So we can really build on every construction site, on every plot. We have now house that we are building in close by in Edegem in the city center, where we construct a house on a 5 rectangle plot,
a pentagon plot.
Pentagon plot. So everything, you can build everything.
Okay, and then, but it is only it's focused on new build. Renovation is non.
It's indeed new build or fully demolition and full reconstruction from the ground up.
Yeah. Okay, right. And how do you look at it? How do you look at that from a environmental perspective?
That's a good question. We did a lot of research, and if you see, there are a lot of houses with the E and F labels, energetic, but also a lot of houses are structural, not that good anymore. We have solutions for those houses that are too bad to renovate, because if you want to renovate them, you're using like the bad materials, like the foam, the PU foams and everything. You can't do it with only ecological ways. Or in Belgium, we have the achterkottekes. I don't know how you have to call them in English.
The kolterij, as we say.
The kolterij, indeed. It's very hard to renovate them on a good and sustainable way. So we have a solution for those houses that are too bad to renovate. And if you look in Belgium, it's a lot.
Right.
But we don't want to demolish every house. So we just have an extra solution for the city center renovations. And also because of our fast building way, we don't have a lot of, we don't disturb the neighborhoods, or we don't need to take the roads for a long time. So we can do it really quick.
All right.
And we see it also as, indeed, we don't do the entire market. We really have this focus of full demolition, reconstruction, or new build. But we somehow see it also because we have this software to design these buildings and to come up very quickly with a price quote and a price guarantee, a maximum price guarantee for the customers. We really see it also as a change in the business model. We really want to focus on the extreme upper level user experience for buying a house. One day we might be a plugin. Our software might be a plugin in ImoWeb. You are looking for, you want to live somewhere in the city center. ImoWeb shows you a very crappy house, and in a few seconds you see this is what it could become if Circl somehow demolishes this and reconstructs, and that's the price you will have to pay. Mm-hmm. So it's really a new business innovation, actually. And that's also a bit what I think the jury was thinking of the Harry van der Velde Awards when they awarded us the Business Innovation Awards, because it could change the entire flow for the customer. It's not only fast construction, it's not only circular construction, it's also a new way of rethinking the very old, crappy houses that we have.
And we use the software to scale up our concept, but if you look at the customer, it isn't fun to build something. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of fuss. It's not that nice. We would like to be not a car configurator like we know it, because it goes way further, but we want to give the customers the right information, the right prices, an exact price in a couple of clicks on the internet.
Sounds great, and congratulations for the Harry van der Velde. That's really cool to hear. Yeah, sounds awesome. I don't know how far you are in the rollout of that software vision that you are explaining today.
Vision-wise, we are already perfect. The team is now working on a first demo, and the demo goes already that far that for a certain type of houses, if you do not stretch it too far, with too many very complex roof structures, etc., that we don't do yet.
Okay.
But for like 60% of the cases that we are testing now, we already come up with a first guess design that is rather reasonable.
Right.
We are aiming for way better. So today our software generates multiple variants. Some of these variants are really cool. Some of these variants are not are reasonable, and others might be very bad. So that's something where we really have expertise in the team that still needs to select it, to say, this is something we can show to a client. This is really a bad design. Don't do that. And that's what the software is learning from. But for the ones that we have a price quote, and we have an integrated price quote tool that ensures that everything we put on the price list or on the price quote is exactly as people could see. And that we have in VR as well.
Awesome. Very cool. And the installation of the homes, the production and the installation, that's also something that you guys control and manage?
We as Circl, we manage the whole construction, but we don't do the manufacturing ourselves. So
okay.
It's a bit the same as our mother company, Van Hout. They coordinate the whole construction, but they don't do it by themselves. We do the same. So we have a partnership with a lot of big partners like Van der Zande, De Koning, Dupac, who will prefabricate our biggest building elements. Our teams do the mounting on the construction site, and the finishings also with some subcontractors. But we are the contact point for the client from A to Z. So we control the whole construction. Yeah.
And that's also how you're gonna scale it up when you go to other countries or other parts of the country. Just gonna select the same set of companies that you need.
Yeah.
Gather demand, and then...
Yeah, so we are quite light asset. And we are also flexible in which systems we use. Today, we have, for here in Belgium, we have good partnerships, and we use wood and also a little bit concrete. But we can switch to other building concepts. Like in the UK, there is a lot of steel framing, so we can easily switch to steel frame if we want.
Okay. All right. I understood you guys only started very recently, right?
Yes, we started in 2002, I think, as a project within 2022, indeed, as a project within the group Van Oud. And then only this year we were really founded as an NV, as an official company. And today we have our first investment round is signed. So
congratulations
at the
again.
notary. So it goes very fast, but I think it's also what we need to do. We really need to conquer the market. We have this feeling that this is the right moment to do so. 5 years ago, it would probably never have worked. Software would have been difficult. Circular construction was still something bizarre. Now, it's not all clients are asking for this, but now it's becoming like the thing you need to do. So it's the right moment to do so. And this is the moment where we want to scale up.
And the cool thing is we got a lot of compliments on the first 2 houses that we built from people or clients that visit them. And they all told us, you can't see it is built so fast. It looks like a normal house, and that's also what we want to do. We want to get the typical Flemish guy with baksteen in de maag. We want them to buy our houses, and our sales is going quite good. We have 3.6 million in our wallet for beginning of next year. So still counting. And we have really nice clients who believe in our concept, who believe in our team. So it's a really nice way to start next year.
Okay, what are the biggest challenges? Because I hear everything is going tremendously. It just seems to be going, it's only upside from here, but we went through this. We are going through this as well. I know it's not only sunshine and rainbows. So what do you see are like the big hurdles that you need to conquer in the next, let's say, 12 to 18 months to really scale up?
One of the challenges we have is indeed all the houses that we've sold now. When these building permits come in, we will have to build them. And I think we are ready for building a house. And we did 2 in Diest, which are really cool. So that's a first step, but really scaling up to 1 house a month. That's a bit of the target we have for next year. There we will have some logistical issues. We need to think about that. The nice thing is, and that's a lucky thing we have, that is that one of the investors we have has also this logistics experience, which will also help us. And it's really, we found the smart money, and the smart aspect of that will also help us to go through these issues, because next year it's 1 house a month, but we go for 1 every day in a few years. So that's really for this scale up part. That's, I think, a major challenge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Where did the interest in the construction industry come from? Because, Peter, if I understand correctly, I mean, I saw the presentation a couple of weeks ago during VOCA, right? You have a background as a computer. I mean, you did a master's in computer science, right?
I did a master in electronics. I have a PhD in computer science, and indeed, I had nothing to do with construction whatsoever. But after my PhD, I started at Flanders DC, Flanders District of Creativity, did a lot of innovation. So I went very broad. And I think if you look at what people with a computer science background should do today, climate change is one of the major issues. If you want to tackle climate change, you go either in construction, you can go in fashion, you can go into energy. And I think food is also something. So if I were not in construction, I would be doing something in factory-based meat or something, I think. So I have nothing with construction. But the cool thing is that in construction, you can have an impact with software. And the nice thing about the construction industry is that they are not so digital yet. So we are here to change that. Mm-hmm. So it's cool. Right. And you need to find the right people. If I hadn't met Wim, I would be somewhere else.
I fell in love with construction much earlier. But for me, I studied construction, so I'm in from like a young age, or interested from a young age. So for me, it's like a dream coming true.
And why do you think you got interested from so early on?
I was interested in the technique, and when I was studying, I don't know why, but I decided to start the renovation of my sister's house, and there I got to know all the things about construction and how you have to build a wall, do the electricity and everything, and it was really my passion. I really loved it, but I also saw that it was really outdated, how they were putting bricks on each other in the middle of the winter when it was raining. It isn't, our construction industry isn't away with its time. So then I fell in love with industrial construction. It was a whole new thing for me. It was a cool thing of both worlds, of when you look how the car fabrics were made, and then when you were imagining why can't we build houses like that. So it was really cool to see that there was a sector with a lot of possibilities to innovate, and of course also the digitalization better. So we can combine a couple of things in what we are doing in Circl now.
Mm-hmm.
What's also really cool is that you create something. You really make out of nothing. You create something and it's there. It's physical. You can touch it. You can see it. People live in it. That's different with computer science. You can also create a program, but you can't touch it. You can't feel it. It's not that people are living in it. And that's also a nice thing, that we make a very diverse product, because we make like and a house, but also we design up to the place of the sink in the kitchen. We do the entire design of all these little elements that change your daily life every day. And that's also a cool thing about construction. You really make something happen. People live in it, but it's all the way from top to bottom, all the way in the house. Every aspect you control for these people. And a customer as such hasn't got a clue where to put all the different sockets or plugs in the wall and whatever, but our software is designing that for them and coming up with great solutions that really make it a livable house. And that's cool, creating something.
And we sometimes forget how much impact a house can have on a family or on people. And it's really nice to help those people to build what they were dreaming of, to give them a nice home, and also with less impact on like climate and everything. If you can combine those two things, it's really nice. And we have a lot we get a lot of energy of our clients. They all come with their dreams, and if you can help them, it's really nice to see how the whole team is like going wild to construct those houses, to find the best solutions. It's cool to see that.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. For me, the realization that you explain here, like how a home or a living environment can impact a person. For me, when we started working on Bao, it came a bit later. I mean, I'm not the guy who does the operations, right? I'm more sales marketing. But last year we were doing a big project in the city center of Brussels for Urbicon 20 studios. And at the end rush, like doing all the details, like the entire team went there to finish everything off, to achieve the deadline. And I remember like going up and down the stairs of the building, and like it really hit me at a certain moment. I was going like, I don't know, like all day up and down, and at some point I was like, I looked inside the building, and like in every room, like there was this thing that you helped design, and then you realize like, yeah, oh my God, these people, like 20 people who are going to live in here every day, except for their phone and their laptop. Like the home is the man-made device that they interact with the most on a daily basis. So, yeah, I remember it very vividly. Like that's when it hit me like, oh, Jesus, it's quite a big responsibility or something, like to really design the best possible living space you can, because it, as you say, Wim, it has a big influence on how people experience the world on a day-to-day basis.
And they will not change it tomorrow. So it has to be good for the next at least 20, 30 years.
And that's
absolutely,
also because we build on a circular way. There are a lot of definitions of circular building. That's also a cool thing. We don't change it often. But if I look at the house where I grew up, it changed like 3 times. If you look circular building, it's a good thing. If the house needs to make place for something else, you can reuse the materials or the elements. So that's a good thing. But a lot of clients, they say us, why should we think about that? Because we will live our whole life in these houses. But another cool thing about circular building is that you can change your house on a very easy way if it needs to. And if you look with like a young couple who goes living in a house, gets children, then they get out, get old, their life changes and their house needs to change with them. And that's really easy to do with our circular way of building. And it's a really nice thing where not a lot of people think about when they hear a circular way of building or circular construction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And can you maybe explain a little bit more where the circularity of the Circl homes comes into play, or how it works? Because a lot of products today claim circularity. Mm-hmm. It's a real buzzword. So maybe it's interesting to explain a little bit more where the exact circular aspects of your solution come into play.
We are circular on element level. So all our elements can be demounted if needed. And the cool thing is we already did it. So we built one of our houses on a construction plot close to Van Hout. We demounted it and we rebuilt it on the construction site of the KU Leuven in Ghent. So we already tested it. So you can demount till elements and reuse those elements to build other houses with maybe another shape or with an extra level. We made our construction walls, our houses. You can go till 5 levels. So if you want to top up, you can do it. And also our techniques are in our separating floors. So you can change them quite easily if you want. You can take off the gypsum board and you can get on them easily. So if techniques will be different, or you do like a reshape of your house, you will have a kitchen on the other side in 20 years. You can do it quite easy. Upon that, you can be like circular with not that good materials like foams or cement or anything. We try to use a maximum of bio-based materials. So almost 70% of our houses are bio-based, or use of bio-based materials, to decrease the impacts on climate.
And that's mostly your focus then, the construction technical aspects. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
And Wim is leading indeed the building concept. We also take it into the software, in the sense that also if in 20 years you want to reshuffle the house and replace it, the fact that we do it BIM first, and then we have like the entire model and every aspect of all these demountable elements is also in our BIM model, also enables that it can be used in a circular way. So that's a bit also where we have this circularity throughout the teams and throughout the operations of Circl.
And we also use like existing components or products like Lithobox, Vlive.
Previous guest of the show.
Yeah. His box is quite easily to demount, or it's quite easily to change one of the elements. So we also work with partners who have the circular way or the circular mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really all partners we select. Also, when we expand in the neighboring countries, the idea is indeed to select partners that can go with us, or find new partners in every country that also aim very high for the circularity. For example, the windows contain now for 95% of recycled CO2. That's also one of the reasons why we have chosen to work with the Koning. Similarly, we work with Miele in our kitchens, because they supply you for 40 years after buying the kitchen. They supply you with all spare parts if needed. So also there, it's really a focus of us, a core value that we try to have in all aspects of the entire house.
Awesome. What about the price? Like, I understand it's about the sustainability aspect, which is very clear. The customer-focused approach via the software is very clear. But affordability, of course, is a big issue today.
True. We follow the NMTO concept. NMTO, not more than others. Okay. So our idea is that we are certainly not the cheapest, but we are also not more expensive than others. We try to aim like average. What you can buy with the others, you can buy with us. And you see also that all our clients, most of our clients are B2C clients. So real customers that want to live in their own house. These all have, of course, asked a price quote from different competitors of ours, and we always come out, quite good. So we are certainly not extremely cheap. Sometimes, certainly in the beginning, when we advertised also a bit more on we are an off-site construction company, people think of that as then it will certainly be very cheap. That it isn't, but it's also not more than others. And in the end, you might turn out cheaper if you look at the total cost of ownership, because you have, of course, the negative energy label, the circularity in the end will also bring some value.
The easy demountability. But the cool thing is our cost of sales, it's equal than other building companies. Our cost in production, it's still higher, because all the sustainable materials, the sustainable way of constructing, the circular way, it's more expensive than buying bricks who are made with millions of them. But we don't put it through to our clients. So we think that if we will be more efficient with software, more efficient in our processes, more efficient how buyers can buy their house, even maybe digitally, then we can be cheaper in our building cost. But we won't use like cheaper materials. So our bio-based materials and our circular way of building, our sustainability is always on number one, and then we will look how we can make it payable for people, or affordable for people.
And that also comes down in the software, where as a customer can see immediately the price code for the entire house, but also the different details. Our software will also be able to, and that's in the future, it will be even more easy, to find and to design a new house for a different price code. So they can really see the immediate impact of, should I change my cooking island, or should I make my living room a bit smaller, or even the entire house 1 meter shorter, and then I have 1 meter more of a garden. All these different choices have an impact on the price, and this way we can also help our customers to come up to the right design for them for the affordable price code. What we also have is our 7%.
Yeah,
we have more house for the same volume. So one of the things is that the building concept that Wim has designed is really cool in the sense that it's very compact. We have very compact with the Lito box. We are very compact with the staircase we have, and we are extremely compact because we have very thin walls, because we have like everything from electricity and all other technical stuff is included in the walls. So it's not an extra wall that is put in front of the exterior walls, which gives us 7% more net floor space on the inside for the same outside volume. So for one of the examples, the building that Wim is talking about that we will build in Edegem on this Pentagon plot, these people will have for this terraced house exact same outside volume, because we just demolished and we built something new on the exact same spot, there will be 7% more space inside. So that's also very cool for customers to see, because somehow that also compensates for slightly more expensive materials. And that's how we make it really not more than the others. Same price principle.
Awesome. Sounds great. Let's see, because I'm looking at the time.
How long can we talk?
You
can talk for hours and hours.
I think we have a couple more minutes. So let's see. Maybe as a more general question before we go to some more personal questions at the end, as we tend to do. If you zoom out and if you look at what you guys are working on right now, how do you see that in the broader evolution of the construction market, right? If you see what the challenges are, and we mentioned a couple already in the market today, where do you see this market of ours evolving towards in the coming years, or let's say the remaining years of the decade?
For new buildings, we need to go to more industrialized way to construction, because we have a lot of a problem with skilled laborers, and we need those skilled laborers to do renovations of existing buildings. So if we do the new buildings, we need to do it on an industrial way. I don't think we're gonna use some foams anymore. I think it will be, I hope so, it will be history.
Which foams?
The PU foams, the insulation foams.
Okay.
So we really need to make a shift to more okay materials, like not the, how can I say it? The cement, concrete. Yes, we will do concrete, but we will use other binders than the cement we use today, because it's 7% of all CO2 in the world comes from production of cement. So we will use other binders. We need to innovate in our materials. We need to go to more bio-based materials. We need to have the certificates. We need to invest money in it. We need to do the fire tests and everything. And I also think that we will replace a lot of stones to wood. I hope so, because there is enough wood, and we don't have to do like all wooden walls, but we can switch it. If you look like at the Scandinavian countries, they use it for centuries, and also in the bigger buildings. In Belgium, everything is concrete or stones. So we have to work on our industrialization, on our sustainability, and of course the digitalization. And I hope also our client, the way of how we treat clients will also change, because now a contractor, they aren't really popular with people. So
I think that's maybe the most overlooked challenge in everything in construction. Everyone is now talking about it will be more digital, it will be more sustainable, and yes, it will. And Circl is trying to even push the boundaries there. But customer centricity, it just doesn't exist in the industry today. And that's also something that I think, and I hope, and we are working on that, you are working on that. I think that's also where we need to change. The perception should be, I have bought a house and it was a cool process. Today, 10 people have bought a house, 9 people had problems. And that's a bit also this customer centricity, really putting the customer first. That's where we need to go.
And it's not easy, because you have so many parties who work on the house. You have so many different things, so many different methods. So it's quite difficult to do it like 100% perfect. But and we will make also probably some faults with it, but we need to work on it. And
the way you handle because indeed it's a complex thing. Building a house is very complex, but the way that you work together with all the partners, that you integrate these partners, and that you also smooth the communication between the partners and the end customer, that's where we need to focus on. Because if you look at construction, in every house, something will go wrong somehow. That's normal. It's a complex thing. but the way we need to handle this and the way we communicate about it, that will make a difference. And with this design and build concept we are working on, that will facilitate this, because then you have like the same responsible for the design and for the actual execution. Bringing that together is already something that in the big projects, design and build, it works. Now we should bring that to the consumer market as well.
Okay. I can only wholeheartedly agree. I think it's a big problem today, that there's just being assumed when you start on a construction or innovation process that it's going to be a nightmare. It's very strange when you think about it, because it's the biggest purchase you're probably going to do in your life. And if they would do like customer satisfaction scores, which probably don't even exist today in the industry, it's not going to be good, I fear. No. All right, guys, we are approaching the end of this first episode. But as you maybe know, we have the tendency to finish with some more general, maybe you could even say personal questions. So unless there is anything else you want to convene to the audience about the technology you've developed and the product you have put on the market,
I think the website will be in the show notes of the podcast, so that will be fine.
Absolutely, yes. Wim,
I'm
anything
okay.
else? All right, then let's see what else we have here. If you could have a drink with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be?
I would go for Alan Turing.
Okay. Alan
Turing, he's dead now. Suicide, I think, in 1952. But he's not enough people know him, but Alan Turing is like a war hero. He's a computer scientist, and as a computer scientist during the Second World War, he was one of the leading people in the team that cracked the Enigma code of the Germans, so that the United Allies could decode their secret messages. And he did that by more or less during the process inventing a computing machine to crack the code. So he's really a hero of computer science. And after the war, the British government decided to punish him for being gay, and in the end imprisoned him even. So it's really a very sad story. But I think in 2013, he was rehabilitated. They canceled the fact that they have put him in prison for being gay, and now he has a statue somewhere. So somehow it was rehabilitated. But the fact that you could sit together for just one evening with one of these heroes of computer science, that would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the movie, the Enigma game? The
Imitation Game. It tells a bit his story, yeah.
Great
cool
movie.
No.
And very sad story. I think he also got, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he get chemically...
he was chemically castrated?
Yeah. And then apparently as a side effect, you get really depressed. And then he ate that apple with cyanide.
Yeah.
That's the story, right?
Yeah. So
it's
really
terrible.
Put into suicide.
Just the idea that you do like the things that he did and you can't tell anyone about it during the process.
Yeah, it's really, yeah.
And then and then it's over. You can't again tell it to anyone, and then your government does. Yeah, it's horrible.
But somehow he's still alive, because if people think about artificial intelligence, he invented the Turing test, which is still the test people use to see if an artificial intelligent machine is really intelligent. The test is still his Turing test. So somehow his idea survived.
Apparently these LLMs are starting to beat the Turing test, I've heard recently.
True. Yeah. Today it's really, they passed the Turing test. Clearly. Yeah.
It's just so crazy. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? Is there a book that you've read? Can be recently, doesn't need to be recently, that you would like to advise to our listeners?
I'm not a bookworm, so
let's go for rework. Rework is a very cool book for people in the audience that like to read. Rework is a cool book for those people in the audience that don't like to read. Rework is really a cool book because it's like thin. It has like, I think 60 chapters. Every chapter is one drawing and 2 pages, but it's a book that I gave and as at Circl we gave as a present to all people starting in the software team. It's a book written by the people behind 37 Signals, which is a startup in the people that made the Basecamp software. And it really tells you about how can I make a difference as a programmer or a geek somehow in a startup company. And that's really cool. If you haven't read it, read it, buy it. It's really cool. And if you don't like to program, it's also fine for you.
Okay.
It could be really rework.
Reminds me of the, Valve, the gaming company, the ones who made Half-Life, who also now have the, what's it called, the Steam platform. They have like, if you find these kind of things interesting, you can Google their manual, their office manual handbook or something. It's also full with like these great examples of a different type of company culture, very action driven. Yeah,
I will read that one.
Yeah, it will probably also be in the show notes. And then maybe Wim, if you could have any superpower for a day, what would it be and what would you do with it?
When I'm doing sales, I really want to know what people are thinking. If I have customers in front of me, sometimes you see them thinking about the materials we use or the way we build, that they think that traditional way of building is better. So I really would see one day how it will be to read those minds.
Okay. Could also be a disadvantage. Huh?
Yeah, probably yes. Some of them will be, but
okay, guys. I would like to thank you very much for this first edition. I think what you are developing is very, very cool. I think the software focus is very interesting. We've known each other for a couple of years already, if I'm not mistaken by now. And it's very cool to see how you have evolved throughout this time and how quickly it's going now. So I am very, very curious how it's going to turn out in the next couple of years. And I thank you very much for your time today and the great story.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Bao Podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you're interested in Bao Living in our Smart Adaptable Module or SAM, go check out our website baoliving.com.